Guys, so I'm back with another video, and this time I want to talk about the medical school application, and I more specifically want to talk about the personal statement, the part that everyone usually hates, well, at least for all of my people that are not writers. So today I am going to talk about some of the requirements regarding the personal statement, general tips for. So real quick, you guys, I was just filming and I just got my first package from Ross, and I think it is my white coat. So I'm gonna open it really quick and give you guys a look at it, and then we'll get back to what this video was actually supposed to be about. So it's just what I thought it was. So like I was saying, general tips for writing a personal statement, tips for non-traditional students such as myself, and then also I'm going to talk to you more specifically about the steps that I went through to write my personal statement, and then lastly I'm going to share with you my final product and what I used to get accepted into medical school. The first thing is the personal statement is required on any medical school application. So whether you're going for ND, DO, or going to a Caribbean medical school, they all require personal statements. Also, the personal statement has specific length requirements, and that's usually somewhere around 5,300 characters. So that usually equals out to about 1 page typed. In your personal statement, you want to explain your motivation and your passion for pursuing medicine. You want to display the core competencies that are listed on the AAMC website. Check it out. It can take anywhere from weeks to months to write your personal statement, so it's best that you start early. And then lastly, your personal statement can make or break you, especially for someone that doesn't have super high stats, so that 4.0 GPA or that 520 MCAT score. Your personal statement really helps to open some of the layers about you, and it helps schools kind of decide whether or not they should take a second look at you. Don't be scared to start over. It may take 10 edits for some people. It can take 5 edits for other people. It can take 2 or 3 completely new personal statements. It just depends on who you are and whether or not you're getting your point across in your personal statement. You don't want to just submit the first thing that you come up with. You want to submit your best work. You want to submit a document that showcases your best self. When editing your personal statement, you want to make sure that you take breaks. You don't want to edit day after day after day. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself time to do more reflection and give yourself time to generate a fresh eye when going back to look at your personal statement. So something that you may have liked when you originally wrote it down, when you went back, you may feel like there's a better way to say what you're trying to say. You want to make sure that you're self-reflecting before you start to sit down and write your personal statement. So the common question of why did you choose to pursue medicine, and not just the fact that we want to help people. I like to think that most people want to help people, but more specifically, what has happened in your life? What about you as a person makes you want to pursue medicine? Will make you a great physician? Will make you successful in this career path? Those are some of the things that you want to think about. What are things that you've been through that that have built up your strength and your confidence to go to medical school? Because that's not an easy task. You want to make sure that you're getting multiple opinions. A lot of students are very self-conscious about their writing. Some of them are open books and love to share. But regardless of who you are, you want to make sure that you're getting multiple opinions, not just a second opinion, but also a third and a fourth opinion. I would say start by having family and friends take a look at your writing. Then you may want to move up to someone like an advisor. And lastly, if you're able to, I would even suggest a professional company to take a look at your writing and make any edits. In your writing or before you write, you want to read a few examples of personal statements. I would suggest just a few and not too many, because you don't want to be influenced by other people's stories. You may want to model the person's style of writing, but you have to choose the style of writing that best tells your story. So in order to avoid doing this, you want to make sure that you only read a few, and then maybe start writing, and then maybe if you need some more motivation or you need a few more ideas, then start to read more samples or examples of personal statements. At first, I was really nervous about applying because I am a non-traditional student, meaning that I pursued another career first, and then I decided to do a career change and then go to medical school. So I didn't go to medical school directly after undergrad. So my first tip is your background is an asset. I'm going to say that again. Your background is an asset. That is a strength to you. Now you have a story to tell. Now you face challenges. You may have faced failure. All of that will make you a better applicant, a better medical student, and then a better physician. Also, don't downplay your last career or your last career field. You want to present that as a stepping stone. You want to present that as something that molded you to be the person that you are today, and something that motivated you to pursue medicine. It's never too late to pursue your dream career. So even if your dream career isn't becoming a physician, whatever it may be, it's never too late to change careers and then go start a new path or a new journey. I promise you won't regret it. And then lastly, and this is probably the most important thing, do not compare yourself to others. Do not compare yourself to the students that are just getting out of undergrad. Do not compare yourself to the high school student that knows what they want to do already. You are your own person on your own journey, and no one else can do that journey but you. I would honestly say that had I tried to go to medical school directly out of undergrad, I most likely would have failed. I did not have my head on straight. I wasn't really sure where I was going. I wasn't as dedicated as I am today. And so it was necessary that I went through all the things that I went through before I was able to apply and get into medical school. So again, make sure you just stay in your own lane, focus on yourself, and realize that you are your own worst enemy when it comes to things like this. And then lastly, I want to talk about the process that I kind of went through to write my personal statement. So the first thing I did was take a look at the core competencies list on AAMC. I went through that list a couple times. I self-reflected a little bit, and I picked out 3 to 4 characteristics that I felt like I possessed as a person, and I felt like were things that I really wanted the medical school admissions committee to know about me. The next thing I did was I asked close family and friends if they can use a few words to describe me. What words did they use? So with that, I got more insight. Sometimes it's easier for people on the outside to see things about you that you don't necessarily see about yourself. So it's important that you get those opinions about what people think about you as a person. Because you have to remember, it's not you that's going to be reading your personal statement, but it's a group of people that don't know you. So you want to make sure that the stories that you tell convey who you truly are as a person. And so that's a good way to find out. Next, I jotted down different chapters, different stories from my life that I felt would align with those characteristics or display those characteristics that I wanted to show admissions committees. The last thing I did was I reflected on how the things that I had been through, the challenges I had faced, the strengths that I had realized that I had, the sacrifices that I made. I reflected and thought about how all of those can make me a great physician, the things I wanted to do once I became a physician, the person I wanted to be for my patients, my good and bad experiences in healthcare. So I took all of that and I aligned it with all of the stories I had and compared it with all of the competencies that I had listed. And I just put it together. I just went, not trying to be perfect, not trying to be grammatically correct, and I just put everything down. From there, I worked with a professional writing tutor just so they can help me refine, help me better tell my story, help me condense and be straight to the point. And without further ado, I want to share with you guys my finished personal statement and what I used to get me accepted to Ross University Medical School. I discovered my strengths through the sacrifices I made during college, the Army, and while raising my children. Sacrifice combined with service removed my distractions and consequently revealed my calling to be a part of something bigger than myself. My experiences with each of my roles shape me as I am now, and the next natural step in the process is medical school, so I can become a physician with the tenacity and grit to positively impact the medical field through transparency and education. A first-generation college student, I struggle with the same issues most college students experience at first: balance. Managing work, school, study schedules, and a social life led me to relocate for a healthier atmosphere conducive to my goals. I moved to Grambling State University and studied environmental science, where my grades improved and I earned a bachelor's in biology. Unable to find a position as an environmental scientist after college, I joined the United States Army and moved to Germany. Lonely and overwhelmed with culture shock, I immersed myself in volunteer work, running health fairs in between military missions. As a preventive medicine specialist for the Public Health Command of Europe and a member of the disaster relief team, I assisted in briefing the general of the Georgian Army to teach them how to bring their camp up to the current health standards. Although our time was brief, their skepticism turned into eagerness and our meeting was successful. I earned their respect and they implemented my recommendations immediately. This experience reinforced my belief regarding relationships. They must be developed with trust and understanding. And what began as a scary, unknown phase turned into one of the most rewarding and fulfilling chapters of my life, an experience that I look forward to sharing with future patients. Life introduced another scary chapter a few days after I gave birth to my daughter. The doctor diagnosed me with congestive heart failure. I was back in unknown territory and experienced a range of feelings. I ruminate the thought my baby girl may never know me. After days of terror, my physician visited me and explained what had happened and how to move forward. Terror turned to relief and hope about life with the new baby. This experience taught me about the vulnerability of patients and the power of physicians. By pursuing medicine, I'll empower patients with knowledge, trust, and understanding so they have the tools to improve their health beyond the exam room. In the chapter following the Army and childbirth, I worked as a system safety manager, ensuring the safety for environmental service employees at 13 hospitals. While my education prepared me for the position, my military and volunteering experiences prepared me to work with many personalities with diverse backgrounds and cultures. The hospitals had their own personalities too, as many groups of people so often do. And much like people, each hospital had their own set of unique challenges. As such, I was flexible in my approach, purposely reaching out to the employees and listening to their perspective regarding the safety issues within their hospital. I met with multiple groups and concluded that the employees felt undervalued, unimportant, and irreplaceable. To manage the burnout, I began hosting open to all safety fairs to bridge the gap between medical staff, hospital employees, and the public. The results included reduced injuries and increased morale. By getting people together, I was able to give essential information in a context that highlighted the multifaceted nature of a hospital and the value and benefit of a team. I learned that the potentials of individuals and groups alike are maximized when we recognize and validate their value. Our patients will know their value, and I will earn their trust by supporting their choices, whether they are in line with my treatment plans or not. I shadowed at Jackson County Memorial Hospital and saw how important communication is when explaining diagnosis and treatment options to a patient, especially when the problem was unclear. While in the OR, I also noticed that things don't always flow seamlessly. You have to be able to react at a moment's notice, and that is exactly what took place when a patient began to panic before being sedated for a colonoscopy. I noticed the importance of having a way to deal with stress as a physician. This is where I rely on my bike for relaxation. When biking, you have the ability to see the world around you from unrestricted views, and while you may not be able to control the things going on around you, you can control your pace and your destination. During my travel in Europe, I realized how privileged I am to have healthcare access that is not readily available to many people in developing nations. I hope to host medical missions to alleviate underserved populations in developing nations. In doing so, I would like to educate them to make informed and possibly life-altering decisions. In conclusion, reflecting on my life, I now know that any hardship was necessary. Those experiences gave me the courage, determination, and resiliency to pursue medicine. While I cannot guarantee that things will be easy, I can guarantee that I will not quit. I know it was super corny at the end, but that's really how I felt. Those were my thoughts. Those were my feelings as I was writing, as I was reflecting, as I was really trying to decide, is this really what I want to do? Do I really want to dedicate my time, my life to pursuing medicine? and ultimately I decided that I wanted to, because I did apply to medical school and I got in. And so hopefully this can give you guys an idea of what you should be thinking, what you should be feeling, and kind of a guide to what you should be writing when you get ready to write your personal statement. So again, I thank you guys for giving me a chance to share some important information with you. I thank you for taking a look at my channel, and if you found this video to be helpful, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any.